One thing that professionals who work with older adults know is that a caregiver spouse is often under a great deal of emotional, mental, and physical stress. The chances of that caregiver spouse becoming someone in need of care themselves is simply huge. If you're watching this video, probably one of your parents is starting to require more care. Maybe they already do need more care. And maybe it's dad who's making sure that mom doesn't wander out of the house. Maybe mom is making sure that when dad gets up 5 times a night and tries to get dressed to go to the job that he hasn't worked at in 20 years, he's not hurting himself. Either way, without the right support and care, a caregiver spouse can often turn into a care-needing spouse. Today, we're going to talk about caring for the caregiver, the person who provides care to their family member, whether it's their spouse, their parent, or another loved one, is going through a lot. In this video, I want to give you some tips for how you can support the caregiver or how you can support yourself if you are that caregiver. The first thing, now this may be obvious and it may be a little bit simple, but one of the first and easiest things that you can do is you can acknowledge how difficult it is to be a caregiver. If you're trying to support a caregiver, make sure that you acknowledge what they're doing. If you are the caregiver yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. Think about what you need to nurture yourself. Is the caregiver taking care of themselves? Are they eating well? Are they seeing a doctor? Are they seeing their medication? Is the caregiver speaking to a mental health specialist? Are they in a support group with other caregivers? If that's not their style, maybe they might want to go to an online group. Well, today everybody's online. They might prefer to read a book. They might prefer to speak with a religious leader. But talking about the stress and frustration of being a caregiver, these things are all going to help support that caregiver. Here's my second tip. You don't have to do it alone. Whether it's you who are providing care, please ask for help. If it's your mom or dad who's providing care, urge them to ask for help too. Nobody is a superhero and they don't have to be. There are many different kinds of resources. And the first step is to understand what are the daily, weekly, monthly obligations that the caregiver has taken on and how those can be shared. Tip number 3, find out what resources are available to you. This is a huge topic. Some resources are going to be very simple. Things like, do I need to go to the pharmacy to pick up the medication, or can we get on a delivery program? Other resources are going to be a little bit more involved, such as reaching out to some community organizations that might offer programs like friendly visiting or respite care, where someone might come and visit and relieve the caregiver for a few hours once in a while. The other end of the spectrum is making sure that you speak to an elder law attorney, like me, about what benefits your family member might be entitled to under the Medicaid program. Many of my clients assume that because they have savings, they own a home, and have pensions and large Social Security payments, that they wouldn't be eligible for Medicaid to cover home care. And because they're trying to preserve assets for children and grandchildren, they don't want to pay out of pocket for that care. even though that care is so very important. Please make sure you understand what benefits your loved one might be eligible for. It's very important that a caregiver, spouse, child, or really anyone is able to utilize help from organizations, from friends, from religious organizations, and from the state to take care of themselves and take care of their loved ones. I'm Yana Feldman. I'm an elder law attorney in Brooklyn, New York, and we would be honored to help you and your family understand what benefits you might be entitled to